Hi class, we're starting today with our adding fractions unit. So go ahead and set up in your ISN a fresh page with the topic adding fractions and go ahead and draw your line for Cornell notes. We'll jump right into it. First we need to talk about what a fraction actually is. So a fraction is a number that is a part. Fraction is going to look like this, with the top number being your numerator, the bottom number being your denominator. When we are adding fractions, you must have a common denominator to add. That means that the bottom number has to be the same, and if it's not, then you have to make steps to get there. Let's skip a line and go ahead into some problems. So there will be times where you'll see fraction adding problems where the two fractions have a common denominator. In this case, you can go ahead and bring the denominator over. That will not change. However, you will add your numerators. So in this case, 1 plus 1 equals 2. So our answer here is going to be 2/3. I want you to try this problem out. Come back when you finish to see the answer. Now that you've tried the problem, let's check. First of all, I see my common denominators are 5, so I'm going to go ahead and bring my 5 over. And then I see 2 and 3 at the top. 2 plus 3 is 5. Now, are we going to leave this as it is? No. We know that 5 over 5 means that we have a complete whole. So that's going to give us 1. Alright, now, when you have mixed numbers with common denominators, what you're going to do is you're actually going to add the whole numbers and then go back in and add the fraction. So we can rewrite this 7, whole number 7, plus the whole number 3, plus 1/4, plus 1/4. Okay? I know that 7 plus 3 is going to give me 10. And because these have the same denominator, I know that 1 plus 1 is going to give me 2. So I can rewrite this as 10 and 2/4. Now I'm not going to leave this because I know that I can simplify 2/4 by dividing the top and the bottom by 2. And that's going to give me 10.5 as my final answer. Now let's go ahead and move into uncommon denominators. So there are a few steps that you have to take when you're solving for fractions that you're adding that don't have the same denominator. The steps are, first you need to find the least common denominator or the least common multiple. Then you need to remember that whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top of the fraction. Finally, once you add, you must simplify. Let's try this problem. We have 3/4 plus 2/3. I'm going to look at my denominator and figure out what number can I multiply both of these by, what number is the least common multiple of these two numbers. So if I think about it, I know that 4 and 3 are both have a multiple of 12. Okay? And that's going to be the least common multiple that they both have in common. So in order to get to 12, I first have to multiply this 4 by 3. And if I do that, multiply by 3 at the bottom of this fraction, I'm going to have to do it at the top. Okay? If I bring this down, I know that 4 times 3 is 12, and 3 times 3 is 9. Bring down my plus. And now, in order to get to 12 here, I'm going to have to multiply 3 times 4. Whatever I do at the bottom, I have to do at the top. So, I have 4 times 3, which is going to give me 12, and 4 times 2, which is going to give me 8. Now that I have the same denominators, I can go ahead and add across. Now I'm going to keep my denominator the same. And I know that 9 plus 8 is going to give me 17. 17 over 12. Now, I need to simplify. So in order to simplify, I'm going to set up kind of like a division problem. 17 divided by 12. I know that 12 can go into 17 one time, and 17 minus 12 is going to give me 5. So my final answer here is going to be whole number 1 and 5 twelfths. That's going to be my final answer. Finally, let's look at mixed number addition. When I have mixed numbers that don't have the same denominator, the first thing I'm going to do is line up my problem. I'm going to add the whole numbers together, so I know that 4 plus 3 is going to give me 7. But I can't do anything with these two numbers because they don't have the same denominator. So now I'm going to think about what is the common denominator that I can arrive out of 6 and 4. Well, I know that one multiple that they both have in common is 12, because I can multiply 6 times 2 to get 12, and I can multiply 4 times 3 to get 12. Okay? Now, whatever I do to the bottom, I'm going to have to do to the top. So I'm going to multiply 5 times 2, which is going to give me the fraction 10 over 12. And I'm going to multiply 3 times 3, which is going to give me 9 over 12. Okay? Now that I have these together, I can also go ahead and add these. So 10 plus 9 is going to give me 19 twelfths. So my answer right now is going to be 7 and 19 twelfths. However, I cannot leave this the same because it's not simplified. So in order to simplify, I'm going to take this and I'm actually going to divide it like I did in the previous problem. Setting it up like this. 19 divided by 12. I know that 12 can go into 19 one time. And 19 minus 12 is going to give me the number 7. That means that 19 twelfths is the same thing as me saying 1 and 7 twelfths. So essentially what I have now is 7 plus 1 over 7 twelfths. Okay, because remember, these are the exact same. So what I'm going to do is actually add these two together. Okay, add my 7 and add my 1 over 7 twelfths. So here's what that's going to look like. Both of these have a whole number, so I know 7 plus 1 is going to be 8, and then I'm going to bring my fraction down and 7 twelfths. So my final complete answer is going to be 8 and 7 twelfths. Now that you've finished this, move on to the next activity.